friends, this is Ms. K, and today is our first day of Unit 6. This unit focuses on a fiction story called The House on Mango Street, and it's going to be broken up into these smaller chapters that are called vignettes. So instead of chapter 1, they're going to be called vignette 1, vignette 2, so you'll hear that word a lot. Let's start with our vocab. We've got crumbling, which is an adjective, and that means slowly falling apart, usually breaking into small pieces. Elm is a noun, and that is a type of tree, and they're usually a big kind of tree. Flat is a noun, and it's not talking about the adjective flat, we're talking about the noun flat, which is a type of apartment. Temporary is an adjective, not lasting long, not permanent. Washroom is a noun, and that is a room with washing and toilet facilities, so that's another word for bathroom. Annotate is a verb, and that means to add notes to a text or drawing to explain it. A deduction is a noun, and that's a conclusion arrived at from the evidence, so kind of like an inference. Emphasis is a noun, added stress or force to something written. Setting is a noun, the time and place of a story. A vignette is a short episode, account, or description, and visualization are forming images in your mind. So we're going to start with vignette 1, which is called The House on Mango Street. We didn't always live on Mango Street. Before that, we lived on Loomis on the 3rd floor, and before that, we lived on Keeler. Before Keeler, it was Paulina, and before that, I can't remember. But what I remember most is moving a lot. Each time it seemed there'd be one more of us. By the time we got to Mango Street, we were 6. Mama, Papa, Carlos, Kiki, my sister Nenny, and me. The house on Mango Street is ours. We don't have to pay rent to anybody, or share the yard with the people downstairs, or be careful not to make too much noise. And there isn't a landlord banging on the ceiling with a broom. But even so, it's not the house we thought we'd get. We had to leave that flat on Loomis really quick. The water pipes broke, and the landlord wouldn't fix them because the house was too old. We had to leave fast. We were using the washroom next door and carrying water over in empty milk gallons. That's why Mama and Papa looked for a house, and that's why we moved into the house on Mango Street, far away on the other side of town. They always told us that one day we would move into a house, a real house that would be ours for always, so we wouldn't have to move each year. And our house would have running water and pipes that worked. And inside it would have real stairs, not hallway stairs, but stairs inside like the houses on TV. And we'd have a basement and at least 3 washrooms, so when we took a bath, we wouldn't have to tell everybody. Our house would be white with trees around it, a great big yard and grass growing without a fence. This was the house Papa talked about when he held a lottery ticket, and this was the house Mama dreamed up in the stories she told us before we went to bed. But the house on Mango Street is not the way they told it at all. It's small and red with tight steps in front and windows so small you'd think they were holding their breath. Bricks are crumbling in places, and the front door is so swollen you have to push hard to get in. There is no front yard, only 4 little elms the city planted by the curb. Out back is a small garage for the car we don't own yet, and a small yard that looks smaller between the 2 buildings on either side. There are stairs in our house, but they're ordinary hallway stairs, and the house only has 1 washroom. Everybody has to share a bedroom. Mama and Papa, Carlos and Kiki, me and Nenny. Once when we were living on Loomis, a nun from my school passed by and saw me playing out front. The laundromat downstairs had been boarded up because it had been robbed 2 days before, and the owner had painted on the wood, "Yes, we're open," so as not to lose business. "Where do you live?" she asked. "There," I said, pointing up to the 3rd floor. "You live there?" "There." I had to look to where she pointed, the 3rd floor, the paint peeling, wooden bars Papa had nailed on the windows so we wouldn't fall out. "You live there?" The way she said it made me feel like nothing. There, I lived there, I nodded. I knew then I had to have a house, a real house, one I could point to. But this isn't it. The house on Mango Street isn't it. For the time being, Mama says. Temporary, says Papa, but I know how those things go. Okay, so we're going to be doing some close reading, and that means finding meaning in the text. So we're looking for patterns, we're analyzing them to understand what is happening and what the author's point is. So first of all, what is a setting? The definition is in your vocab if you don't remember. And why is a setting important? Does it tell us details about the characters? Does it tell us details about the world the characters live in? Does it tell us about the main idea? Or does it tell us the theme? Number 3, which is not a place described in Vignette 1. So go back up into the text, look at the different houses that she described. Which one was not described? The house on Mango Street, the Loomis flat, the narrator's fantasy house, or the narrator's school. Number 4, true or false. The narrator names other places, but does not describe them. All right, so we're going to focus in on this paragraph here, and I want you to write one detail from the passage that describes the house on Mango Street. And you're actually going to do this 6 times here. So for the rest of your reading activities, you're going to reread this. I'm going to do one with you right now. So it says, but the house on Mango Street is not the way they told it at all. It's small and red with tight steps in front and windows so small you'd think they were holding their breath. We just got a bunch of details. It's small. It's red. It has tight steps and it has small windows. There's 4 details right there. So here's one we could do. The house on Mango Street is small and red. There's one detail. If you keep reading, there are many more details, way more than 5. So find at least 5, write them down, and then we're going to head on over to skills. All right, so we're looking at that same paragraph here. I want you to tell me what evidence in the passage helps you infer how many bedrooms there are. So you're looking for a piece of evidence that talks about the number of bedrooms. Number 2, what word is repeated in this passage? So look through this word, see if you find anything that gets repeated over and over and over. Number 3, why would the author use repetition? What does repetition do? When we see something over and over and over again, what does that do for the reader? All right, number 4 says, get a piece of paper. Using the passage above, draw a picture of the house on Mango Street. Label the drawing with details from the text. Look at the picture below for how to label. So this is the Mango Street house. You can see I labeled it red and I labeled it small. So you're going to draw the different features and you're going to label what the different details are in the picture. And then I'm just going to have you write the details that you drew. And that is it for today. Please make sure to get on Zoom, join our live lesson, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye, Adams.